Welcome everyone. We're going to start in just a few minutes. We're going to let, there's quite a few people who have registered for tonight's NPH Open Home Series episode. So we'll wait a few minutes to give everyone a chance to get into the webinar, but it's great to see so many of you. Just a couple quick things. If you'd like to click on chat, then at the bottom, click on all panelists and attendees and you can chat with the group. So I'd love to hear where everybody is from. So go ahead and click on that chat and just say your, type in your name and where you are from. My name is Molly and I live in Minneapolis. Just pulling this to the side here. Lauren, so good to see you again. You've been on all of our episodes, so welcome and welcome to all the New Zealand attendees. I know we have quite a few. Emma, great to see you. Oh my gosh, John from Michigan, they're coming in pretty quick. Cheryl, good to see you. Melanie from LA, wonderful. We have Stephanie from Arizona. Heather from Chicago, welcome. So great to see so many of you. Just let you keep logging in and again, just say, just hit the chat button and say hello, tell us where you're from. If you've been on this episode before, you know that I like to have some fun facts, so I'm going to share a couple with you. Let's see, let's start out with, did you know that 55% of the global banana market depends on the Dominican Republic? If you knew that, go ahead and put that in the chat. Let's see how many people knew that. Let's see, welcome Nicole from Boston. We have Haley and Jake from Madison, Wisconsin. Welcome. Here's a question for all of you. I think Nicole may know this one. Which well-known baseball player is from the DR? And I know there's a couple, but this person is kind of a standout. As soon as you know it, type it into chat. I'll give you some hints. He played for the Minnesota Twins, but you may know him, I knew Nicole would have this, but he ended his career with the Boston Red Sox. David Ortiz, otherwise known as, and quite a few of you are calling him by the nickname Big Pappy. So awesome job. As many of you know, we are going to the Dominican Republic tonight, and we are going to chat with Kieran Rigney, who's the National Director. In case you haven't been to the home is about 40 miles east of Santo Domingo. And did you know that Santo Domingo is also the capital of the Dominican Republic? It's also the largest city for the DR as well. Another fun fact, I think we have a few more people coming in here, so I'll just wait another second. Let's see. I know, I have a question for you. So the DR, the Dominican Republic, borders one country. It only borders one other country. Anybody know which country it borders? Go ahead and put it in. Oh, you guys are very quick. Melanie got this. Cheryl got it. Everyone's getting it. Okay, so you all know that the DR is on an island and shared with Haiti, which we also have a home and a hospital in that country. So awesome job. And let's see, what else can I say? The country experiences warm and sunny conditions for most part of the year. So for this reason, the climate for the DR is also known as, anybody know? This is a harder question. Anybody know what the climate is known for? All I'm seeing is Haiti still. I think everyone's doing a quick Google search. I will go ahead and tell you it's referred to as the endless summer. Being that I live in Minnesota, I wish I could say the same thing, but I can't. Summer is actually coming to an end. Oh, Belinda joined us. Hi, Belinda. And it looks like we have a good number, so we might have a few more people joining us, but let's go ahead and get started here. We're gonna pull off the screen. We're set. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on which time zone you are calling in from. My name is Molly Boyum, and I'm the Chief Development Officer for NPH USA. And on behalf of all the staff here, we hope you and your families are safe and healthy. So welcome to the 5th episode of the NPH Open Home Series. If you were with us on episode number 1, we visited Honduras, and then episode number 2 brought us to Bolivia. In episode 3, we met Sammy Corrales, who grew up in our home in El Salvador. And then episode 4 brought us to Mexico, where we had a lovely conversation with Rafa, who is their national director. Today, we are visiting NPH Dominican Republic and chatting with their national director, Kieran Rigney. Our moderator this evening is Casey Guevara-Laker, who is the Director of International Engagement for NPH USA. He has traveled to the DR with staff and donors a number of times the past couple of years. So before we get started, I have a couple housekeeping items to share with you all. I think this probably isn't anyone's first Zoom call, but I would be remiss if I didn't just share a couple little tokens. So there are icons that appear when you hover your mouse at the bottom of your Zoom window, like chat, Q&A, and raise your hand. If at any time you would like to ask a question, choose the Q&A button, and a new window will appear where you can type your question. We will be answering several of them at the end of this episode. If you have a comment, please click on the chat. And in just a minute, you will meet Kieran and Casey. But before then, we have a short introduction video to share with you. So without further ado, welcome to episode number 5 of our NPH Open Home Series.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome. Bienvenidos y bienvenidas to the 5th episode of the Open Home Series. I'm your host, Casey Guevara-Laker, Director of International Engagement at NPH USA. On today's episode, we welcome National Director of NPH Dominican Republic, Kieran Rigney. Kieran hails from Ireland. Hi, Kieran. Kieran hails from Ireland, but since 1989, he has been an integral member of the NPH family. And in fact, Kieran has spent more time living between Haiti and the Dominican Republic than he has in Ireland. I've had the pleasure of meeting Kieran a couple times throughout the years, but the first time I met him was about 4 years ago on my first visit to NPH DR. I was struck by the close relationship that Kieran has with all of the kids at NPH DR, and that this close relationship ultimately translated what is a large community into a small, close-knit family. I hope everyone is excited to hear from Kieran, hear his story, hear how he became a national director, but also hear about some of the challenges NPH DR faces today. Kieran, welcome to the program, my friend. Great to have you.
Thank you very much, Casey. Glad to be here, and hi to everybody as well who joined us this evening. Happy to see you.
Excellent. So Kieran, let's kind of start from the beginning. How did you learn about NPH? Where were you kind of in life at that time? Like I mentioned, it was 1989, so I can't really imagine, discovering a volunteer opportunity as a millennial without using the internet. How did you discover NPH?
Well, actually, there's a long story and a short story, so we'll go with the short story. Okay?
Sure.
I actually was in the seminary and had decided to take a year out. And just accidentally, I saw an article about Father Wasson and Father Rick. in a local Sunday newspaper in Ireland. And they were basically just looking for volunteers. So it appealed to me straight away. And I applied. And about 8-9 months later, got the invitation to go to Haiti as a volunteer. So landed there in 1989 and spent 12 years in Haiti, you know.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to expect, but they were good 12 years.
Yeah. So were you kind of waiting on pins and needles for those 9 months before they, got back to you about your volunteer opportunity?
Well, yes. I mean, I filled out the application, sent it off by snail mail, went off to London to work on the buildings to get some money together. Honestly, I'd almost given up on it, So then I got the call, and actually Father Rick and Father Sebastian, who was the director of the hospice for Damien in Haiti at the time, we met in Victoria Station, and they told me I had been accepted and I was invited to go to Haiti. Mm-hmm. My answer then was, when are you going? Because I'm ready to go since months. So I said 1st of July, 89, arrived in Haiti, So.
Yeah. So you kind of arrived without really any preconceptions. What were kind of your first impressions, I guess, of getting to Haiti and getting to meet Father Rick?
Yeah. Well, getting there was good. It was first class Eastern Airlines, one-way ticket to Haiti for 12 months. Honestly, didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I had taken a year out and I was looking for a challenge, looking to give up myself to something worthwhile, something social is what I was thinking. And honestly, I think I found it. I worked along with Father Rick and Father Sebastian at the home and really enjoyed it and learned a lot, obviously, from Father Rick. And started off just helping out at the hospice in administration. Then, since there were no 24-hour shifts, basically, the volunteers at the time also had to work night shift. So we clean diapers, change kids at nighttime as well. And then I moved along from having the opportunity to be the director of the hospice at one stage, and then eventually becoming national director. I also spent some time at the home as well, up in Kenskoff, which into Haiti, it's about an hour up the mountains, in the poor area.
So it sounds like you've really had quite the experience with NPH right from the beginning, moving through various parts of the organization and taking on more and more responsibility throughout kind of your career and even becoming part of the NPH family. I don't know if you know or not, Kieran, but what we've been able to do on the last couple of episodes is dig up some photos. Yeah, right, of course. And they're older photos, which are always great. And trust me, we only selected the best ones, nothing embarrassing.
Changed a bit. No,
yeah. So I think this is you and Father Rick, correct? The photo that's framed in blue or light blue.
Yeah, the handsome guy in white is Father Rick. I'm sure. So that's Father Rick in white. The stripes is Alfonso, who's my brother-in-law, and then Pharrell Bruner is on my left-hand side. So Alfonso actually was the house director at the home in Haiti. Father Rick, of course, was the national director at the time. And then Pharrell, when I left Haiti to come to the DR, he took over as national director. And he's a product actually of the home in a way, So he became director there for a while in Haiti. Mm-hmm. I presume the photo actually is in Haiti. Can't be sure, but I think it is, And it's probably in the early 90s, I would think, when that was taken.
Yeah. It looks like it. Like you said, you haven't changed a bit. The other photo down in the lower right, this must have been in probably one of your earlier roles for NPH, correct?
Yes, that looks like to be in the office. Like I said, my first role was actually basically administrative, which is getting supplies and medication for the hospice, and timetables and that kind of thing, So that looks like me. And I mean, my desk hasn't changed. It's still full of papers. So, those of you who have come to visit me at my office, you know what I'm talking about. It's improved a little bit though.
Yeah, little cleanup needed every once in a while. Yeah, there you go. So Kieran, you went to Haiti first and then spent, you said 12 years.
12 years, yes.
In Haiti.
12 good years. Mm-hmm.
12 good years. Mm-hmm. Were you close with Father Wasson?
Well, I would met Father Wasson, first of all, in Haiti, you know, I mean, close in the sense I mean, that's where I met him, you know. And of course, when I applied to go to Haiti and join NPH, I didn't actually know much about what it was and so forth, you know. But meeting Father Wasson and understanding what his mission was, you know, to serve the poor, basically, you know, and I mean, serving the poor, we worked very closely alongside the missions of charity in Haiti and received a lot of sick children. Hence the reason, actually, you know, when they went, I think, in '87 to start the home in Haiti, as they were receiving a lot of children who were HIV positive, TB, you know, basically dying, that is why the hospice started, you know. Nowadays, it's a top first-class pediatric hospital. But it began as a hospice, basically trying to give somewhat of a dignified death to children who are basically dying. But then you realize that, hang on a second, we can do more than just make you comfortable, you know. Let's get the doctor, let's get the medicine, and see if actually we're able to rescue them from the last months. And we did, and working alongside Jacqueline Gauthier, Dr. Jacqueline Gauthier in Haiti, who is now the national director of the hospital in Haiti. You know, we've saved a lot of lives, and they still do that in Haiti. And I enjoyed my time, but it's tough. Haiti is a tough place, you know. But again, when I volunteered, honestly, I was fine. That's what I was looking for. A total change to what was normal to me, you know.
Yeah.
So when I say I enjoyed my time, I actually did, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy the time, enjoy the responsibility. It seems like taking that on would, I mean, be a lot, and to be a lot for anyone, I think, at that time to navigate through. So take us then through leaving Haiti and going to the DR. How did that transition happen? Was there any moment in particular that sticks out to you at that time?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Father Wasson. I'm sure with the egging of Father Wasson to expand the home, you know, myself and Father Rick came over to the DR, I think it was 2002. And with the idea of meeting the Cardinal, he didn't know we were coming, he wasn't there. And then of charity, the Sister Magda, who likewise wasn't there. But then a phone rings and she's on the other end of the phone and she directs us to San Pedro. So we ended up coming to San Pedro Marcoris, and then Bishop Ozoriak, he invited us to visit the San Pedro Marcoris, the town itself, and then invited us to come and start at home here. So there was no big study or that kind of thing, just kind of all done with love. And he offered a piece of land. NPHI approved the project to start a new home here in the Dominican Republic. And then over time, we have found people who are interested to develop here and to support the country. And that would be Dominicans here locally, and also people internationally who are interested in the country and its people here in the Dominican Republic. You know? So I see you have some more photos.
Yeah, quite a few photos of you, some great ones, I have to say, especially the one on the left. Excellent. A little bit different haircut at that time, it looks like, but
okay. Yeah.
You know, as I was looking at these, Kieran, I guess I wondered, are any of these kids still involved? Do you still have relationships with any of the kids that are kind of photographed here and with you in the early days?
Yeah, well, actually, the photograph you're showing there with the group, that actually, Father Wasson is there. That was the photograph of our first new children in the home. Started in 2003 with 7 kids. So I think it's about 7 kids in the photograph, you know. And the one beside me on the photograph on my left, she actually is working with us as a psychologist, a social worker.
Kieran, I think you may have cut out there. You said on the photo on the left, the girl that's in the white, she was a psychologist.
Are we having technical problems? Can you hear me?
Couple technical problems. I think we're all set though. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the girl on the right is still with us. She works as a social worker. And then beside Father Wasson, and honest, he's still here, and he's working in communications with us. And a few other girls at the back who still have communication with them as well. You also see there Mary Jo. Mary Jo is still here. you know, in September, she'll have spent 40 years to NPH. And then, of course, your Alfonso there in the photo. And then the other photo with myself holding the two kids, that's Carmen in the middle. And Carmen actually just graduated, just last year. She was one of our first girls to graduate from university and is now a qualified teacher. Very proud of her. You know, she was the first girl to graduate, you know.
That's excellent.
We'll have a few more as well down the road.
Yeah, that's excellent. Again, great photos. I'm sure you'll treasure these when we can get them back to you.
Oh yeah, it was a big occasion starting the new home. And we started in a rented property in San Pedro. And now, of course, later on, you'll see a tour of the home. And of course, we moved up in the world. It's a much nicer place.
Yeah. A bit of a change, I would say. Quite
a bit of a change, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So if we could just switch to the next photos that we have, and I really like these. It's you on your wedding day, just to show, I think, in so many ways how much of a part of this family and of the NPH family you became and are to this day. I think in these photos, we have Father Phil, Father Rick, Father Wasson. I'm not sure who the gentleman is in the glasses on the lower right photo, but clearly
an Irish priest. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Clearly, you had the MVPs marrying you on that day.
Well, I mean, obviously, Father Wasson. I met my wife Susanna in Haiti, and you know, not like doing anything right. So we got the four guys, the four priests, to make sure it was done properly. So, I mean, it was a pleasure to have Father Wasson, Father Rick, Father Phil, and Father Jerry to come celebrate our wedding. And actually, it's 24 years ago. Actually, so. And I'm quite lucky, actually. You know.
Yeah, very, very much so.
It was in Mexico. We got married in Mexico, in Cuernavaca.
Okay. You know? Okay, but now you have a family in the Dominican Republic that lives with you. 2 sons and a daughter, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, two twin boys, Kieran and Brian, and a daughter, Viviana. All of them actually. Vivia's in Flagstaff, and my 2 boys, they just graduated just the last semester. You know, so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, throughout your time with NPH, I just want to ask, is there any individual or former Pequeño that kind of sticks out in your mind that maybe you had a really close relationship with, or somebody who has kind of achieved over and over again? Is there anyone that sticks out to you?
Yeah. Well, Carmen, of our kids that are here at the home, we're very proud of Carmen, obviously, and we're very proud of Victor. You know, Victor is going to graduate, I think, next semester as a dental qualified dentist. You know, and you know, every home has some kids that are exceptional, and I guess just like any family, not to compare, of course. You know, one is better than the other.
Right.
As a parent, you always want the best for your kids. You know, and you wonder, why couldn't they all be like that? You know, but with 150 kids or 200 kids or 480, whatever it is, you know, we're always looking for the best. But at the end of the day, what's required is each one to give their best. And that's all you can ask of each of one of them. But we're very proud of Victor, and actually he'll be going to the States soon. Actually, I think he's going to do, no, not going to the States, but he's going to do this virtual gala down next in October, I think. You know, so
that's excellent. I
you know,
met Victor quite a few times. Absolutely, you know, I'd say brilliant individual, incredibly smart, also talented on the soccer field. I think he's gotten the better of me a couple times out there.
Yeah, well, they're out there actually right now, and they're having a bit of fun. He's out there with them, you know.
Is he? He's. Can you show us the soccer field right at this?
Well, it's for those that have noticed, just beside the kitchen, it's a small field. Actually, they're not arguing too much. For those that can see it, that's our kitchen right ahead of us there, and then some of the kids are playing, you know. And that's San Marcos home over there at the end.
I think you have to point the camera just a little bit down there, Kieran. Just a bit. A little lower.
Right there. Can you see it?
There we go. Yep.
They're not too bad soccer players, but of course, baseball is the game here. So,
Right.
some people are hoping that we'll sign up a baseball player.
Maybe one day. You can keep your fingers crossed for that. Thanks a lot for showing us the property there. I think what you've put together for us and what Meg has been incredibly helpful in is putting together a short home tour. Do you think we could cue that up, Meg? So we'll be right back with Kieran right after this tour enjoy the tour.
Please.
Welcome to Casa Santana.
Hi everybody, come join me for a tour.
Hey, welcome to our home, NPH Dominican Republic.
We are located about 40 miles east of Santo Domingo, the national capital. Our home sits on about 50 acres of land in a rectangular shape with beautiful Polly's Park running down the middle.
Let me show you our beautiful chapel. And actually, San Jerome is at the ancient St. Marcos. Let me show you something. We have services here every Wednesday and obviously every Sunday, but in these times we actually are doing it in the park. This beautiful furniture came from NPH USA, specifically from St. John the Evangelist Parish in Indiana. Well, there was a meeting with St. John Paul, obviously not at the time, and some of our own children. And actually, Victor, who will be graduating as a dentist very soon, I mean, it's wonderful. They have the pleasure of knowing a saint. Unbelievable, actually. And obviously, Father Wasson with another saint, Mother Teresa.
The houses are equal in the sense that they're the same size, 220 square meters. The difference is the group of children in each house and the person in front of them, the tios or the tias.
Which house do we have here? ¿Qué casa? San Pascual? Santana? Santana? San Pascual? San Pascual? San Pascual? San Pascual? San Esteban?
Yo,
Esteban?
yo,
Esteban? San Francisco, ¿qué casa?
yo.
Santa Teresa. Oh, Mario, perdón, aquí va. ¿Qué casa, Mario? Santa Teresa. ¿Qué casa es la mejor?
Santana.
This is our volunteer house, which actually is the bottom part. The second floor would be where our visitors would be housed when they're here, usually for a week or 10 days. When new children come, this obviously is the first place they come for medical evaluation, and then it will be dispersed into the general hall. It just so happens actually tomorrow we have new children arriving, 10 children. We have a residential dentist that comes in 4 days a week, and she's able to cover the needs of all the children, plus the children in the school as well. We're very grateful for that. The doctor, a local family doctor, she also comes in 4 times a week. This is Casa San Marcos in honor of Marco Simoncelli, and basically this is our home for our special needs. In our special needs home, about 16 children. We also actually have a program called San Marcos Extensión, which is basically a program helping almost 18 families or 18 children within the surrounding community. It is a need that's very obvious here in the San Pedro area. These are our 2 school buildings, and there's about 360 kids in the school, and I know there's 225 of them from the communities. I'm here with Wilson in our garden. This actually is our
passion fruit area, and you can see it. What do you think? It's going good?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
We actually supply about 12 to 14% of our kitchen needs at the moment from our own gardens. And every year we're trying to work a bit more to advance that number. For those of you who wouldn't know what a pineapple, I thought, coming from Ireland, pineapples grow in top of trees. But actually, for those that don't know, like me originally, this is a pineapple. These are pineapples. And just one pineapple will grow eventually. I don't know why I thought they would be in trees. I don't. This is it. Thanks very much for stopping by. We hope you come soon.
Kieran, that was excellent. It's a absolutely beautiful home, beautiful. I really like the farm. I think is probably one of my favorite places when I go there. It's always great to check out all the different fruits that are growing and speak with Mary Jo, see what the latest crop has brought in, I guess. But Kieran, here I think I'd like to ask, I guess, a couple of the tough questions, right? And kind of figure out some of the things that maybe keep you up at night as a national director. So I think the first question, for me at least, is how is NPH Dominican Republic and you as national director, how are we keeping the kids safe and healthy during this global pandemic?
Okay, because that's the question everybody has nowadays.
Yes, I think that's true.
Of course, and the thing, of course, is not just us, it affects the whole world. So how are we? Honestly, we're not too bad. I mean, we're good. Thankfully, in touch wood, the virus hasn't come into the home. And we've had some workers that have come down with the virus, but we've managed that, and that's okay. And the country is dealing with it at the present time as well, just like every country. So we're more affected in a way by donations, unfortunately, because our donations have gone down. Even locally, some hotels that used to help us on places, of course, they're closed. So yeah, it's understandable. They're not able to help us right now. That'll change down the road. And so we've had to go and make some cuts in our budget. We've had to go and make some cuts in some programs with the hope that things will turn around and we'll be able to reopen them down the road, But thankfully, because first and foremost, of course, it's the children and their health and their security and welfare. So I'm proud to say we're good, we're fine, the kids are okay, And I was really appreciative to our older boys and girls, because when we decided to kind of close the home, basically I just asked for some volunteers of our staff. Some people volunteered, but actually the older boys and girls are the ones who came forward and allowed the staff to go home for the first 2 or 3 weeks, But because the whole thing has been prolonged, they can't stay at home forever. So we've kind of almost come back to scheduling again. And most of the older boys and girls have moved on as well, But so in that sense, it's been difficult. And, and part of the idea of this conversation, I guess, as well, is to let people know, again, first of all, we're good, but of course, we still need some help,
Yeah.
And so those are the things, of course, we appreciate.
Yeah, thanks, Kieran. I also just want to say to all those of you who are listening, tuning in, watching, if you want to submit a question in the chat, please do so, and we won't get to all of them, as I'm sure there are many, but please feel free to submit a question and we can ask Kieran. Another question, Kieran, I guess is one of those, what keeps you up at night right now in terms of caring for the home? What keeps you up at night?
Well, nothing keeps you up, but where are we going to head? When I say about closing up the programs, so it's how to sustain what we're doing and keep it going. And as well as the purpose as to why we're here, of course, is to help. So we want to keep helping other children as well that need our help. You know, I mean, our job is a service, and our purpose here in the DR is to help Dominican children who are in need. You know, we have a very, very close relationship with the CONANI, which is the basic childcare government operations. And that is the source of the kids, and that's where they come from. These are the kids that we help. So there's a lot of other programs also that obviously could need our help, and we just have to see how we can channel our some way or other to support programs like that, especially, for example, in special needs. You know, in the video I mentioned, you know, about our special needs program and the program we have externally, because within our community, there are a lot of children with special needs, but there's no services. You know, the parents are trying to do the best they can.
Right.
So that's an area as well. So it's the future that keeps me up. You know what I mean? Trying to, tomorrow, what we're going to do. Will there be enough food on the table? Will there be enough of, we'll be able to send our kids to university if they have the qualification to do so, for example. So, I mean, same as any parent, you know, looking out for your kids and hoping that something will break well for them, you know, and provide the best you can. So.
Sure. In terms of thinking about the future and maybe just thinking about right now, the near-term future, what does that look like in terms of education for the kids? Are they able to go back to school shortly, or will there be kind of continued schooling at the home? How does that look for them?
Yeah, there's just been a change of government. So there's a new Minister of Education. Actually, on Thursday, he will announce what the plans will be. So at this moment, we're not sure actually what's going to happen. You know, the chances are that we'll try to open school maybe in September. But it's not what's happened. And actually, the school has been closed since March, I think. You know what I mean? And we have been trying to homeschooling. And just the last few weeks, we've had a summer program running. You know, and again, Victor has been very involved in that, for example. You know, as well as other cases as well. So, so we'll see. Our school is like a semi-private, almost public school. The Department of Education supply teachers to us. So we'll have to go with what the government decides to do, you know. So, and if they're not opening yet, we'll just homeschool as best as we can do that, you know, in the homes.
Yeah. And how has homeschool been going for the kids? Are they taking to it? Is it quite a challenge? And I guess another question along with that is, how have the kids been dealing also then with isolation and kind of being isolated to the home at this point?
The home, well, again, we haven't got computers for all the kids, so not like everyone's sitting in front of the computer and homeschooling them, you know. So we got the work from the teachers, and then, you know, some of the older kids, tutors, and giving the class and so forth. And that's how kind of how we worked out the homeschooling, you know. What was the second question? Sorry, I just lost it there. What was the second question?
No, that's okay. How have the kids been dealing with isolation? Have you seen in other conversations we've heard that there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of extra energy, and figuring out ways to maybe let loose some of that energy. I'm not sure if you're experiencing a similar situation in the DR.
I mean, Casey, you said you've been here a few times. The home is a great place. You know, I would say it's not the worst place in the world.
Definitely
you know?
not. Definitely not. True.
So, and we have a lot of advantage actually, you know, with all the kids that we've had that are here, but the space that we have. So honestly, the home itself was grand, you know, and the kids, of course, they listen to the president speaking, they listen to the news, and they understand the pandemic that actually is there. So the kids behaved very, very well. They actually did, and they did in all the homes, not just here. That's something common and all the directors would say. The kids responded very well. You know, but because of the setting within the home, you know, and once you're secure within the walls, the home is the same. You know, we play football together, we had mass in the park together, they eat together, everything was fine. Now, one little thing different is because our staff that come into work, they are wearing masks, you know. Myself as well, because I would go out now and again, we've required as well that we would wear a mask as well. You know, the people who are permanently here, then they're, you know, just do what they do, you know.
Sure. So we've just had one question come up here in the chat here, and somebody is just asking, how can we support NPH Dominican Republic from afar?
Well, the best way, I mean, I'm wearing the NPH USA shirt here, you know what I mean? So the way to support us, of course, is to support NPH USA, you know, because in doing that, you're supporting me as the national director, basically to do your bidding, you know what I mean? And to look after the kids and keep the programs running, you know? And we understand, I understand, there are so many organizations who are in need, you know, and we're just one. For people who know me, for people who have come here, I always say the same thing. I'm not saying we're a perfect place. We're not perfect. We just try to do the best we can, you know? And we trust that people would trust us to do the best we can with your money, you know? Because again, with money, with the, you know, with the donations or the sponsorship of children, you know, we are able to assist the children here on our site in the Dominican Republic. So that's one good way of helping for sure, you know? To make sure again that the food's on the table, the medicine, because medicine is something you can't really cut. Food, you can cut a little bit of rice, but medicine, you need to take it, you need to take it. And whenever the request comes for medication, I just say, okay, go ahead. We can't cut the tablet in half. You need a full one, you got to take it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so,
well, and in a way to support you, Kieran, I think as you've just put in the chat here is through a Mi Casa sponsorship. There's a link in the chat for everybody who's kind of listening, watching, something that you can sponsor the home directly today, and Kieran and all of his staff will be able to continue to carry out the excellent service that they're giving many children, not only in the home, but also in the communities. Kieran, let's just for a moment here, shift over. We kind of have a fun poll that we want to ask all the people kind of tuning in today, and it has to do a little bit with your home tour that you gave. So what you'll see is a prompt to come up. You'll see it on your screen, and you basically have two choices. And the question is, did you know that pineapple didn't grow on trees? I think, Kieran, you were, didn't know that. And it was also, I have to admit, it was also something that I learned in your home tour. So thank you. I've absolutely learned something. I forever thought that pineapples grew on trees, but I'm sure we have a very educated audience listening today. So I'm sure that there are many people that knew that they grew underground. Again, not something that I knew. So if you submit your answers, we'll take a look at the results. Molly, good to see you again. So
I
it
also
looks
thought pineapples grew on trees. And now that I think about it, it doesn't make sense.
Right. So we're almost at 50-50. It looks like most people most people did not know that pineapple grew on trees. But a close call there, though. You learn something new every day, I guess. So this is kind of concludes the open home episode that we have. Kieran, I want to thank you for your time. Also, I just want to give one quick shout out to another member of the NPH family, my mother, who turned 65 today. Hola, mama, feliz cumpleaños. Kieran, anything else that you want to say to the people tuning in and listening today?
No, just thank all of you for joining in. I hope you enjoyed our tour, but there's nothing like the physical being here. And when things get...
I think we might have, there you go. He's coming back, but I think that we would all love to come visit, Kieran. Can't wait for things to come back to normal and be able to come down and visit you and the whole family at NPH Dominican Republic.
You're all welcome.
Molly, over to you.
I'd just like to say a big thank you to Kieran and to Casey. Really appreciate you guys sharing a little bit more about NPH Dominican Republic. I've been there and it's a great home. So as soon as we can travel again, I encourage everyone to visit the DR. I would also like to thank our behind the scene folks who are producing this episode. We have Meg Brockman and Kim Dumpke. We just could not do this without you both. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you would like to support NPH DR, as Casey and Kieran mentioned, please consider a Mi Casa sponsorship. It's an easy way to support all of the kids, staff, and programs in our home of the DR, really any of the homes. When you sign up, you can pick a home. Additionally, your support will help the surrounding community with services such as medical, education, and social services. So just visit our website at nphusa.org and click on Meet Casa in the upper right-hand corner, and it will walk you through it. Additionally, if you would like to sign up for episode number 6, you will get a registration link tomorrow, or you can head over to our website as the link is already available. Episode number 6 is an open home visit to Guatemala, and it will take place on Tuesday, September 15th at 5 p.m. Central Time. Again, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Kieran. So take care and hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much for joining.